Growing up, I was always surrounded by 99% of people. Those 99% of people that we always like to look down upon. But not in a bad way, like they are peasants or something, but in pity, because they are missing out on the benefits of delayed gratification by being on self-improvement. I was always the kid that liked history, that liked to read books, that liked to learn about the universe, for example, that liked to watch top 5 educational videos on YouTube back in the day when those weren't cringe. And so naturally, I just wasn't compatible with my surroundings. I never got along with my classmates. Like, sure, we did talk from time to time, because, we are the people of the same age, so somehow we always found something to talk about. But it was usually video games, memes that just went viral, and just talking about nothing. And yeah, I had to talk to them at some point, because the social deprivation was just too much sometimes. Like I just had to, zone out and just have a little laugh with them about some bullshit that they just told, like basically some weird noise or some meme, for example. And I did even play video games with them. Like sometimes we hopped on a Discord call and we played games like CSGO, Minecraft, but apart from that, I was usually the kid who sat behind this desk at school, never talking to anyone. And if you spend almost 10 years like this, being deprived of real social connections, the real friends that you want to have, basically having no one that is just like you, the people that love you and truly want the best for you will see this on you. The social deprivation will literally radiate from you. And once when I was 14 years old, in my most down bad times, my mental health was at its lowest because COVID had just ended and the teachers were pressuring us because we were soon going to switch schools from primary to middle school, and it was a really stressful period. And this was when my mental health was at its lowest. And my mom saw this on me and she said to me, "Hey TR, why don't you, instead of that blank expression that you always were, you lighten up a little bit? You actually show some emotion for the first time. Maybe the people around you will actually appreciate it for the first time." And this was the first time when my beliefs about myself were challenged. Until that point, I thought that I just wasn't compatible with the people around me. And maybe I was the problem. Maybe me being not like 99% of people and being this cold person to everyone was the mistake all along. And so I did something that I never thought that I would do. I became more like the pathetic 99% of people. I never went that far as to, drink alcohol, take drugs, went out partying. Like, I never went into those degenerate activities, like, thank God. But what I did was, I completely throttled my masculine side, and I became like 70% more feminine. I started to make more higher pitched noises. I started saying like, "Aww," and other bullshit just like that. And guess what? It did work. It actually did give me some more social gratification. But at what cost? I had lost my identity. I just became one of them. I wasn't unique anymore. I was just like them. I wasn't myself anymore. I wasn't learning anymore. I wasn't watching any more educational videos on YouTube. Instead, I became this weak piece of shit that thought that he was the problem all along and that it was okay to not work hard on yourself and to just chill out and enjoy your teens and your 20s. Safe to say, I couldn't live like this any longer, and I barely lasted 2 years in this phase. But in summer of 2023, self-improvement saved my life. Because in that same summer, as I started to wake up at 5 a.m., as I started to meditate, gratitude journal, normal journaling, I started to adventure more into nature, and I improved my mental health tremendously. I became more masculine. That's when I realized something. I was a man. And 2 years ago, I took advice from a woman on how to become more social. And so of course, I wasn't satisfied when I took my mom's option. Yet, to be fair though, it did work in a weird kind of way. It did give me more social gratification. But the people around me just respected me less. And this is not me trying to convince you that my mom is a bad person. Like, God forbid, she's a completely lovely person, and I do hope that if you meet her one day, you'll have the best mindful conversation you can have with her. She's an intelligent and lovely person. And the advice that she has given me when I was 14 years old about that I should become more emotional was because of her not trying to sabotage my self growth. It was because she actually wanted the best for me. She saw how much I was socially deprived from the people around me. She noticed on me that I had no friends around me. And so, of course, she wanted to change me. She wanted to improve me. She finally wanted to see that I was actually having fun with my surroundings. That I wasn't this black sheep in my local village. But the problem was, she didn't knew how to get me on the right path to become like the 1% of people. You know, the people that are chasing their desires, that are improving their physiques, their mental health, building powerful businesses that bring them financial, location, and time freedom, getting the true quality friends and true quality, soulmates. She didn't knew how to get me on that path. She only knew how to get me on the path of being more social with the 99% of people in our local village, because it was the same village in which she thrived when she was younger, because she was part of the 99% of people. But not in a degenerate way. She was really, really social and famous. Like, she was attending all the different clubs at our local primary school, in which I also attended. She knew almost everyone in the village. At one point, she even had her own singing career. Like, she was touring all around Slovakia, but that's a story for another day. And also, my mom was really, really beautiful when she was younger. And you know what they say, a woman's prime starts at the age of 18. And especially if that woman is really beautiful, like my mom for example, then she gets to enjoy her teens and her 20s to the fullest. And she did have the right. But when she had me, she noticed something really odd about me. I had a really old soul. Like, I naturally, since I was like a kindergartner, I always thought like an adult. I always spoke like an adult. I liked to gain more knowledge, while all my other classmates liked to play football and shout at each other. My classmates preferred the instant gratification, while I always preferred the delayed gratification. And so, after COVID, in my most down bad times, she just couldn't resist it anymore. By that point, she has been tolerating my old soul for the past like 14 years. So of course she wanted me to have at least some kind of social gratification, even if it came from the 99% of people who gave me no value, even if it meant to throttle my masculinity and make me little bit prefer the instant gratification. But the problem was, this was never truly me. And yeah, sure, I did get the social gratification, to some extent, but it was just not enough. And now that I'm on self-improvement and actually on the path to become the best version of myself, to become part of the 0.00000, you get what I'm saying, 1% man, now I truly know how to pick your life teachers. And let me tell you, once I became more masculine again, and this time I was actually on the right path, to actually gain the respect from the highest quality people in my local area. When I actually start to talk in a deeper voice, when I finally start to talk non-hypervigilantly, like slowly, like you hear me right now, and more clearly, as I improved my focus through meditation, journaling, gratitude journaling, as I improved my positive thinking, as I became more stoic, that's when the 99% of people finally started to respect me more. And, believe it or not, I still get the same amount of social gratification from them as I did back then when my respect from them was at its lowest. Like, of course, I'm still not compatible with them. I am still that black sheep in a field full of white sheeps, because I don't follow the status quo of going to university, getting a degree, getting a shitty job where you work for 40 years, then you enjoy retirement for 15 years, and then you die, while also having a shitty wife with shitty kids who don't even love you, and it's just bad. And plus, you also spend most of that life paying off all of your debts, your loans, you get what I'm saying. And I also refuse to be addicted to social media, video games, fapping, because guess what? Unlike them, little bro, We are heading to greatness. We are becoming the best version of ourselves. And we are doing it every single day. We are working relentlessly on ourselves so that we can get as far away from them. In the social hierarchy, we are leaving our competition in the dust. Those pathetic 99% of people with whom you don't get along, they are currently losing in the race of men. And we are getting ahead at a ridiculous rate. And so just as a little plug, if you want to get closer to me and to other people who share the same values as you, because if you're watching this video 10 minutes in, then I know that you don't have a fucked up attention span. And I know that you have so much more potential than you realize. You are destined to greatness. And so I believe that you'll become a powerful asset in our family, in our clan. It is a powerful Discord server down in the description where I believe you'll find real friends and your perfect place in there also. Because you know what they say, you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so if you want to make me one of those 5 people that you will grow with and become the best version of yourself, then please join our clan and welcome to the family. You are average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. That's true. But how do you actually find these mentors, you may be asking right now? Well, we are now on self-improvement, which means that we are in the race of men, in the race to gain the delayed gratification. We are chasing the 3 big desires, and those are wealth, health, and relationships. Wealth means achieving financial, location, and time freedom, while also working less and being fulfilled to the maximum. Health basically means physical and mental health, just improving it so that we don't have negative thoughts in our head all of the time, and so that we are completely healthy physically, like getting the godly 10 out of 10 physique, you get what I'm saying. And relationships, that just means connecting with high value people, like for example your future soulmate, which will be your future wife if you're a dude watching this, and connecting with other high value men, with whom you will see them as real brothers that you can even cry in front of and over their shoulders also. And you will do the same with them too. That's how deep your connection with them is gonna be. Again, join our clan. Sorry. It is a really great thing and I hope you join it. That's why I keep on emphasizing it. But what I now want you to do is called purpose journaling. Most likely if you're watching a video like this, you don't know your current purpose in life. Your purpose in life is this authentic natural activity that when you do it, 3 hours feel like, I don't know, 5 minutes, because it puts you in a state of flow, where you have no thoughts in your head, and you're doing it better than the 99% of people, yet it feels so easy to you. It is your gift to the world. It is a skill that you can master, and then you can teach it to other people. And this right here is what 99% of people don't even know about. They don't even know they have this superpower. And you don't know it also. It can be, for example, like painting, learning a martial art, learning how to play a musical instrument, for example, or learning a language. And yet when you do these activities, when you master them more and more, when you become more proficient at these skills, you find out that they are so easy to you. Like you instantly dominate your entire competition when you start learning about them. I know it probably sounds way too good to be true, but it is real. For example, my purpose is to teach my younger self so that he can become the best version of himself. That is my current purpose as of making this video in July of 2024. Like, as I'm recording this video, I literally have a picture of me opened back when I was 14 years old. So it feels like I'm speaking to him, which just makes it all the more natural. And so how do you find this purposeful, meaningful, fulfilling activity? Well, you take a notebook and a pen, and not that kind of notebook like a laptop, for example, and go to some kind of place away from society, basically somewhere where you don't get influenced by the outside world, somewhere where your mind can be totally fixated on the inner world, on your past, and where inauthentic desires won't be put onto you. And you need to do this preferably during the weekend. And what you need to do is to journal about your life for hours on end and ask yourself these 2 following questions. What is something that everyone used to always tell me that I'm better at it than the 99% of people, and that I am destined to become that profession. Like, for example, my mom used to always tell me that I would become a teacher, and yet here I am on this YouTube channel. And the second question, if I had financial, location, and time freedom, what would I be doing? How would my day look like? What habits would I be doing? And you need to journal about both of these questions tremendously, because let me tell you, you already had this purposeful activity when you were just a kindergartner, but as you became older and older, society started to put more inauthentic desires onto you, like, oh yeah, you need to go to university because otherwise you won't be financially well if you don't have a degree. And so you need to detach away from society and analyze your entire life and journal about both of these questions. And every time you answer them, ask yourself, why? The power of why is insane, because it will unlock so much more doors for you, so much more doors to finding out your true self. You need to be totally honest with yourself. Your journal is your safe haven. No one cares about it. No, it's not this my dear diary bullshit you see in movies, for example. No one will look inside of it. So you are allowed to put in anything, even your deepest, darkest secrets. Just analyze your entire life and go as deep as you probably can to your most oldest memories that you can think about. What is something that you like to do when you were younger that even your mom acknowledged and said that you are destined to become it? And that right there is your current purpose that you can use as a superpower to achieve success in the 3 big desires of man, in wealth, health, and relationships. Aligning your purpose to these 3 big desires is a topic for another video. And so now that you finally know what your purpose is, this will actually fulfill you as a man, and not acting like the pathetic 99% of people, like preferring instant gratification instead of delayed gratification. Like I already said, this is a skill which you can master effortlessly, and so what you have to do now is to pick mentors who are already better at you in this skill. And not just any mentors, but real masculine mentors who already use this superpower of yours to achieve success in the wealth, health, and relationships desires that you also have. And not just settle for one mentor, you need to go through all of them. Even if there are 1000 of those mentors, you need to look through every single one of their YouTube channels, for example, and pick the 5 most important to you that you like the most. Like, for example, I will tell you mine as a man on self-improvement. They are, and you can type them down, Hamza Ahmed, Ali Ibrahim, Andrew Huberman, as I sometimes listen to his podcasts, but not too often, Robert Greene, the author of The 48 Laws of Power, and right now it is Dale Carnegie, because I'm reading his book How to Win Over Friends and Influence People. And so now you need to consume as much content as you can from them. Like, you literally need to become obsessed with this new goal of mastering this purposeful, this fulfilling task to the best that you can. And so the answer is, always pick the mentors who already have the achievements that you want. Like, for example, Hamza already has the YouTube fame that I want. He already has the money, the fulfillment, for example. And so I take his advice from time to time. Like, of course, that's the reason why I also have other mentors, so that every time I get a piece of advice from them, I actually think about that piece of knowledge before implementing it. I asked myself, will it be worth it if I implement it right now? And so that's why you never want to become an exact copy of them. You want to basically take those 5 mentors and put in some of your own personality, some of your authenticity into it. And you will have a recipe for success. Once again, if you want to get a closer contact to me, then join our clan in the description and become a part of the family. I hope you got some value out of this video. You can comment on which part of the video you liked the most. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you.